Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of 2 for Cross-Checking. I have returned. It is me, your host, Alex, alongside Andrew and Sully. And we're here to talk more about the playoffs, the NHL playoffs, to be specific, although there are other playoffs going on. Um, the
These are the only ones that
Cavs,
matter.
yeah. I was just
Wow.
going to bring up the Cavs and their sweep because
Their dominance.
they dominated the Heat. But we're here to talk about hockey today. Maybe eventually we will bring basketball into the fold, but today is not that day. And I want to start by saying, Andrew, congratulations. The first team to advance to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, your Carolina Hurricanes, beating New Jersey in 5 games, 4-1 series win.
Thank you.
Stressful, though.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. I had so much to deal with it,
Yep.
to do with it for sure.
Of course, it's all about the superstitions at home. That's what really makes the series.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In 2019, one fan in Boston shaved their beard the night before Game 7, and that was it. Yeah.
Yep, that's how it rolls.
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta make it interesting. As I texted you earlier today, just can't have a nice, relaxing series
Yep.
against a lower seed.
Yeah.
That's without his best player and like a third of its defense. So that
Yeah.
typical
for
Kane
sure.
stuff, though.
For sure. The biggest issue that I see for you guys in the upcoming rounds is Freddie Anderson.
Yeah.
Or the lack of him. He went down in Game 4, I believe. Yeah, Game 4.
Yep.
And as soon as
Yeah,
that
Timo
happened,
Meier,
yeah, as
yeah,
soon as
lowered
that
the
happened, I
shoulder,
went on
just a
to
straight up tackle. It was
yeah,
he was playing for
yeah.
the Browns or the
I
handful Carolina Panthers. That would have great form, man. Just lower the
yeah.
shoulder and give him the boom. That was
It was a very
it's the number
surprising.
one right there. Is just tackle your opponent's goalie and knock him out of the game. That's
Yeah, the Nazem Kadri school of playoffs. Yeah. That was a very surprising non-call for me.
yeah. Oh,
And I mean,
same.
I know you ended up winning the game, you ended up winning the series, so at the end of the day, it's not. I mean, it is a big deal because we don't know the timeline on Freddie Anderson, but what are your thoughts on what happened there? I mean, you've already kind of made it a little clear. You lowered the shoulder and just took him out.
Yeah, just brought the boom. Yeah, slowed up to do it too. Like made.
Yeah.
Had a choice to either, make contact with Svechnikov or just take out Freddie, and Timo decided to slow up and unload on the goalie.
Yeah.
And
He was.
people say Sheldon Keefe isn't a brilliant tactician. That was a bold strategy right there.
Sully, you look lost. You look like you have no idea what we're talking about, and that's probably because you don't. In Game 4, Timo Meier was skating. I believe he had the puck. I believe he was making a shot attempt. I don't remember exactly, though, but he went up to try to score a goal against the Carolina goalie, and as he did so, he skated way into the blue paint. I mean, he was 4 feet into the blue paint. I don't think it's the 4 feet long, but he was deep in the crease. He did make a shot attempt and then just lowered his shoulder and took out Freddie Anderson. There was a 5-minute major penalty called on the ice, which I think I do want to talk about as well. I think that was awesome that the officials called a 5-minute major, because a 5-minute major is a reviewable play now as of a couple years ago. So what they did is, probably what happened is they didn't see it clearly on the ice as it happened. So they called a 5-minute major so they could go and watch the replay of it. And they could watch it, and they watched it for a while. And decided, nah, it's fine. And completely took the penalty away. The only thing I can think of, the only reasoning that I can come up with, is that they deemed that Svechnikov, which a Carolina player, Andrei Svechnikov, was following Timo Meier into the crease. And the only thing I can think of is they deemed that Svechnikov caused him to go into Anderson. However, if you watch the replay, that's not what happened. I have no idea how this did not get any sort of a call on it. I don't know. I'd be fine with it even not being a 5-minute major, even if they just make it a 2-minute penalty.
Yeah, just
I don't know.
interference
I don't know how the NHL didn't watch that back after the game and suspend Timo Meier or fine him or anything. That's what I don't understand. I can understand them saying, it's the playoffs, it's rough, we're not going to call a penalty here. It's dumb, but people...
Yeah, but that's how it goes a lot of the
That's
time.
absolutely
So,
how
yeah.
it goes. That's why a lot more physical teams win the cup.
You
I
just
do
gotta
not
tread water,
understand
get
how...
into the playoffs, and then
Yeah. I don't understand how nothing came of that. I don't get it at all.
me either. We'll see. I mean, goaltending has been yikes all year, and Freddie was good, but
Yeah.
who knows how long
Yeah.
he'll be out.
He was definitely on a hot streak. Kochetkov came in and led into like almost immediately. He did settle into the game. You ended up winning that game. And then that game 5, I did not watch it until the third period when I saw that it was tied at 4. I went back and I looked at the like summary of the game, and it was like, oh, New Jersey had a 3-0 lead at one point.
Yeah.
How did you feel
Canes are
going into that
scrappy,
game?
man.
They are.
I mean, yeah, considering Kochetkov was getting the start and we go down 3-0,
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat, or
Yep.
well, not literally because it was a couch, but regardless, yeah, figured it was time to start drinking and let this team go, let this game go, get ready
Yeah.
for Game 6.
Yeah.
But instead, we did it somehow. Pulled
Yeah.
it out.
I think I texted you earlier. I was absolutely exhausted last night. I turned that game on for the third period. It was about halfway through by the time I actually was able to watch it. I watched the entire third period, and I think I got maybe 5 minutes into the overtime. I fell asleep. I woke up, and we were in the second overtime,
Yep.
and I looked at the TV, and then Sebastian Aho scored, and I was like, cool.
Yep. Back to sleep.
And
Yeah,
that was
good for
that was
him.
pretty much it.
Good. That's been a narrative for. I don't agree with, but here that he, needs to show up more in the playoffs. So good for him to get the winner and get us into the next round.
Yeah, I had money on Svechnikov to get the winner though, so
Ooh, well then. Sorry.
I'm
So,
glad Carolina
maybe.
got it.
Me too.
And I do like Sebastian Aho.
Svechnikov
So
versus. Oh, me too. And Svechnikov versus Tom Wilson's going to be fun against the Capitals.
yeah,
Both
Yeah.
those guys commit quite a few penalties, so let's
Yeah.
just stick them on each other in the corner away from everybody else and let them go at it.
could be a fun time. Do you have any other thoughts on this series or on the impending series? As we are sitting here recording, things could change over the next bit of time. We're talking about the Capitals already. As it stands right now, that game is in the second intermission, and the Capitals are up 3-0. And this seems like a good time to segue into their series as they are up 3-1 over the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah,
I
a period
had-
away.
I made these notes on the day that we were originally going to record, in which I said closer than I was expecting. Nope, this is what I was expecting now. Looking at this score, this is more of what I was thinking was going to happen. Both teams lost their starting goalies in Game 3. The Capitals got theirs back. for Game 4. But I wanted to talk about Washington's power play. At least, and again, this was only after Game 3. And I was making these notes while they were playing Game 4, and they were down in that game when I made these notes. They ended up coming back and winning. Washington only has a 20% power play.
Really?
Yeah. For one of the best teams and having Alex Ovechkin on your team, I would expect your power play to be better. Looking at it right now as it stands, they are second to last, and it has gone down. They have a 10% power play. That is atrocious.
That is, and I mean, the Canes are fantastic penalty killers. So, fingers crossed on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, there are only two teams worse than them in the power play in this current playoffs, and that is the New Jersey Devils, because the Carolina Hurricanes had a 100% power play or power penalty kill in the first round. New Jersey got 0 power play goals, and the Tampa Bay Lightning have a 6.7%, which is also atrocious.
Yeah.
So you looked like you had something to say there. Did you?
I was gonna ask. I know we mentioned Alex Ovechkin. How likely is it? I'm guessing they have a 10%. I'm guessing that's 1 goal out of 10 power plays.
It's exactly 10%, so I think that would be an astute observation.
I didn't think it'd be 2 for 20 already, but I could be wrong. So, how likely is it? Most of these are probably 2 minutes. How likely is it that Ovechkin is not on the ice for a lot of this time?
0.
Okay.
0.
I would imagine you want the best shooters out on the ice at this time.
Yeah. He is on their first power play unit. A lot of teams will have 2 power play units. They'll put one out for the first minute of it, and then they'll put the other one out for the rest. Sometimes what?
I'm thinking, like, if I'm the other coach, instead of playing a zone, like, I'd still play a zone, but, like, I'd probably put, like, 1 or 2 people directly in his line. Because, like you said, he's going to be in the same spot almost every time. You could basically just plan to put somebody right there or 2 people right there. And
you would absolutely think that you could plan on doing that, and Ovechkin has shown over his years of playing and doing the exact same thing that it doesn't matter what you do, he's going to score from there.
Apparently not. They're only 1 for 10.
Yeah, not right now he's not, but any other time.
He's old.
Yeah. And also, on that same boat, the Montreal power play.
Yeah.
What
about Montreal? Well,
reading this right. Let me make sure I'm reading this right.
I mean,
38%.
You're an umpire, so we're going to cut you some slack on the whole thinking and reading thing.
38.5%. That is second in this playoffs.
Really?
So
what's
Washington, a good percentage in. Let's go look at the regular season here. The top team in the regular season was the Winnipeg Jets with a 28.9%.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
So anywhere between like 20 and 25.
I'd say 20 and above is where you want to be. Now this is a lot less opportunities in the playoffs, so
yeah. I mean, if you go like 1 for 3, you have a 33%.
Exactly.
Yeah, and better competition too. So yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But man, I didn't know Montreal was doing that well on the power play.
Montreal special teams has been very good in this postseason. I'm guessing it is. Yes.
I might have actually stolen your question. Is it Montreal's just that good at power plays, or is it that the Capitals are just that bad at killing at power kills?
Oh no, I think Montreal is just good at the special teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would guess that most of the difference in this series comes from even strength.
Yeah, I don't
Most
think
likely.
Montreal's so young and they just don't
Yeah.
have the depth yet to
Yeah.
Yeah.
match up with the top teams. But who knows, in a couple of years, they've got some guys that are really good there and still
Mm-hmm.
super duper young. So
For sure. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the biggest thing I wanted to point out on this series. It's kind of going how I expected it to. The games have been a little bit closer, other than the one tonight. But those special teams percentages were very interesting to me, especially when they're this lopsided and Montreal's still gonna lose 4-1.
yeah,
Again, barring a miracle.
if you told them that they had held Washington
Yeah.
10% power
Absolutely.
play, and
Absolutely. It's like telling me that if you had told me at the beginning of the season that we were going into the Super Bowl that we were going to hold Saquon Barkley to the line that he had, I'd have been like, cool, sweet, three-peat, let's go. And then I actually watched the game and cried.
He did. I can attest.
I didn't actually cry. It didn't
You
actually.
were dying on the inside.
Oh, I was definitely dying. But I didn't. Actually cry.
I mean,
that was
offensive
atrocious.
tackles are important. I guess every 5
and that's
years
why we
y'all gotta
yeah
relearn that lesson. Yeah,
apparently yeah. You'd think when you have such an investment in your quarterback, you would pay more attention to that. Although we tried to last year, he didn't work out.
I mean, the Bengals haven't, so like, apparently it's a common thread.
Yeah. Well, their defense is also a problem.
Well, we shouldn't. Okay, let's get back to hockey before we
Back to hockey.
delve too deep into what's wrong with the Bengals, which is a lot. But
Yeah.
We've already talked about that.
yes.
Anyway, Montreal,
yeah.
Washington. I don't feel
What's wrong
there's
with
much,
the Canadians too? Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much more to this one. Special teams for Montreal was fantastic. They just couldn't cut it at even strength, is what it seems like.
Yeah.
As somebody who has not actually watched any of the games, just seen box scores. I kept meaning to catch one and then never getting to it.
All right, we should probably not admit that too often. Let's act like we know it. Pretend like we're.
Look, I'm an honest guy.
I can admit it. I'm not the hockey guy.
Yeah, I'm not the baseball guy, so I just nod along and try and look pretty while y'all talk baseball. Yeah, but
I don't do a good job of that.
Well,
me either.
let's
But
talk about a
sometimes the
series
hair
that I
isn't
have
too
watched
crazy.
a little bit of then. And another one that could be over by the time we post this episode. The Florida Panthers are up 3-1 against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and as we have been talking, I've had my eye on the scoreboard over here. Florida was up 3-2. Tampa Bay tied it, and Florida's taking the lead again. It's 4-3.
Yeah, speaking of things not going well.
Yeah,
The Lightning,
I had
man.
this game going 7, or had this series going 7.
Same, yeah.
I think it's just Florida has found the Lightning's number.
I mean, I also traded
and-
for Marchand.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a new piece to it. So
and the Lightning lost Stamkos.
yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah.
I know that name. That's a big issue.
Yeah, I think those are two big parts of it, as well as Bob has just been better than Vasilevsky.
Bob loves the playoffs, man.
He does. Game 3, Vasilevsky put on a clinic. However, the rest of it, not so much. Well, Bob has just played better. They've both been very good. And I think I said this in my series overview, is it's going to come down to whichever Russian machine works better. And right now it's looking like it's Bob. And I even have it in my notes here because, again, I made these notes before the last game when it was only 2-1. I said, I still think this matchup comes down to which goalie plays better and steals more games. Now, in a 4-3 game, I can't say the goalies are really
Not a-
stealing
Yeah,
games
not
here.
a whole lot of stealing
but-
happening there from the goalies, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But-
but we will.
Barkov got a goal tonight. His first of the playoffs.
There you go. Poor Lightning. I got a friend that's a Lightning's fan, and bless their
No.
hearts,
They
it's
won
just
2 in a row. They almost three-peat.
took 3.
No. That's like if somebody were to say to you, poor Chiefs fans right now. Like,
Fuck the Chiefs fans.
exactly.
All right,
However,
you
Tampa,
got me. You got
as I said
They're saying
before,
poor Yankees.
me. Never in my
no.
any of my lifetimes would I say poor Yankees.
Tampa, big problem for them, as I said before, power play. 6.7%. That's very bad. That's very, very, very,
Yeah,
very,
you've got
very bad.
like
That's
one
like
of the
one of
best
15.
power play players ever.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have Nikita Kucherov and you can't even crack double digits, man?
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah, that's a great
That
question.
is-
Bob.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, just Bobrovsky standing on his head. He wants
He
back-to-backs.
does like picking on the Lightning. Even
does.
going back to Columbus, he really
Going back to
does
Columbus,
like
he
just-
does.
He really does making Tampa Bay have a terrible
Yeah.
time.
Did you know that, Sully? Did you know that Sergei Bobrovsky was once a Columbus Blue Jacket?
When you were saying Bob and Bobrovsky, no. When you said Sergey, yes.
Yeah, he was the goalie that
He
swept
told
the Lightning in 2019.
Yeah, after the Lightning had the best regular season
I recognize the name. That's about
ever.
all.
And yeah,
Best regular
And
season ever for Tampa Bay, and they lost in the first round to the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Can we get him back? I think him and Jet Greaves would make a.
oh, you got like $15 extra million. Or
Right.
I don't even think
Yes.
Florida would let him go. Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, you'd have
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think you're getting them back. Sorry.
to. No, you'd have to.
Nikita Kucherov, does he win the Hart this year?
After this, no.
But it's a regular season award. Votes are already in.
I mean, I don't trust the voters, anyways. So we'll see. But
All right. I'm going
I
to
still say no.
jump a little bit then. Who's going to win it then? Is it going to McKinnon?
It'll probably be McKinnon.
All right. So Nathan McKinnon is going to be the Hart winner, you're saying. And Cale Makar is going to be the Norris winner, probably. Even though I want it to go to Zach Werenski.
It should go to Zach Werenski, considering.
So you have those
He's-
two players on a team, and I'm jumping divisions here. They're down 3-2 in this series.
Yeah, mea culpa on my part. Let's shoehorn that in. Because, yeah, I picked the Stars to win the whole thing at the beginning and then bailed because they had one dud of a game in game 1. And now they're a win away from taking out the Avs. So, yeah, as you said, could have the Norris and Hart winners.
Yes. And I think they will. I think it's really a toss-up between Kucherov and McKinnon on the Hart. I could see it going to Kucherov just because you lose Stamkos, but you still maintain the same production. Like, that's definitely MVP
Yeah.
to me.
Oh, for sure.
So I could still see it going to Kucherov. But Cale Makar is almost definitely going to get the Norris. I did a little deep dive into stats, and it's not just stats that go into it, but I did a deep dive into stats of the 3 Norris finalists. It's based on stats alone, it's going to go to Makar, and based on watching these guys skate, it's going to Makar. As much as
he's
makes me sad. But-
he's one of the best players in the world. So yeah,
To give the Avalanche a little bit of flowers, Gabriel Landeskog makes his return, his first game in 3 years. 3 years. That's crazy. First game in 3 years, and he scores a goal.
Yeah, that was almost speechless. I got to talk for this, but
poetic.
otherwise just yeah.
It's poetic. It's absolutely poetic, and I'm so happy for the guy. I'm just real sad he's gonna lose.
Yeah, so that begs the question. They have two really great players. They have a great, heartwarming story, and they're still gonna lose.
They have more than two really good players, buddy.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of good players.
Okay.
The problem is the Stars also have a bunch of really good players.
And Makar has not
that's
shown
the
up for
problem.
the series.
Yeah,
Ah.
and like I picked Dallas to win it all at the beginning because like they've got the best group of guys, like 25, 26 and under out of everybody. Like if you're gonna had to pick one team's like, all right, gonna win a Stanley Cup in the next 5 to 7 years, like Dallas. It would definitely be Dallas. So yeah, this is just victims of circumstance. Like if Colorado could play the Kings or Minnesota or somebody like that in round one, then yeah, probably easy peasy. But they drew Dallas, and so
Good chance. They can take it to 7.
they could. Mikko Rantanen's been really good for Dallas in the Revenge series. He's had some nice assists and definitely done a good job controlling play and facilitating on his end. So that's got to be fun for him, or at least, silver linings for him, considering he didn't want to leave, but now he could potentially ice the Avs out in the first round.
Yeah. And another thing that changed since I wrote my notes, but the Avalanche, when they have been on in this series, the game has not been close. The Avs won game 1 5-1, and they won game 4 4-0. The games that the Stars have won, game 2 and 3, they both won in overtime, and it was a 4-3 and a 2-1 win. That's not what you want to see. And I was still leaning towards Colorado. Up until the Stars put up 6 against Colorado last night and won 6-2.
Momentum.
Yeah. After getting shut out, they won 6-2 at home. They're gonna go to Colorado tomorrow night with a chance to close it out. I think we might see a game 7 here.
I mean, I think that's what we all called basically anyways.
I want a game 7. I want to watch that game.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And the Stars have an amazing home ice. I remember game 7 against the Blues back in 2019. I'm going to bring this up as often as I can because I'm still living pretty much my whole life 6 years ago, before the world fell apart. And they have an incredible home ice, and I find it hard to see the Avs going in there in a game 7 and winning. And they would have to win this series. So
Yeah.
I'll jump back over to the East now. For the comedy special of this podcast, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are up 3-0 in the series against the Ottawa Senators, who have brought it back to a 3-2 series. There will not be a sweep in this round of the playoffs. However, the Maple Leafs could be reverse swept. And just the comedy, guys.
Oh, it would. I'd just be obnoxiously laughing for days if that happened.
Yeah. But Maple Leafs fans are like your brethren as Cowboys fans.
I laugh at the Cowboys' follies too, man. It's just like, what else are you gonna do about it? I can't change it, and it's the same.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
I have brought.
But they've got the. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
They've
you're
got
good.
kind of this, like the Boston Red Sox, the Northeast sort of media to it, which is just a very Chicken Little sort of situation where the sky is constantly falling over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, if they drop Game 6,
I'm still not really worried about the Leafs. I still think they're gonna win, but it'd be really funny if they
they're
lost.
gonna lose next round, and it'll be fine. But
yeah,
if they lose Game 6 and it goes 3-3, momentum's a big thing. They could easily lose that Game 7.
yeah.
Oh, no.
They lost Game 5 at home. They'll have Game 7 at home. Yeah, the sky is falling mentality could really get to them in a Game 7. I think as long as Game 6 is either... Honestly, the best thing for them would be if Game 6 was a blowout. If they're not going to win it, it needs to be a blowout for the Senators so that they can just wipe it from their memory and be like,
So
that game was a fluke, and we'll come back and we'll play our absolute best that we can in Game 7.
But will they believe that it's a fluke because they already lost to him 2 times in a row?
I mean...
And on the home ice already.
That's a great question. I'm going to go look at the scores of the games. Oh, God.
Yeah, and...
All right, Leafs 6-2, Game 1. Leafs 3-2 in overtime, Game 2. Leafs 3-2 in overtime, Game 3. Senators 4-3 in overtime. What did I just say? Senators 4-0 over the Maple Leafs in Game 5. The only game that there have been 2 games that weren't close, and it was Game 1 and Game 5. I think
Seeing a pattern here.
Yeah, and I mean, Ottawa does have the better goalie.
they do.
I mean, I'm seeing a pattern where it started off good for Toronto. They won. They won.
Yeah.
And then it shifted. They lost. They lost big. I gotta say I wonder if it's that trend might continue and they're gonna lose big again, and then
I don't think they'll lose big again. I think it could be a 1-goal game again. It could be an overtime loss again, which I think that would be the worst thing for the Leafs. An overtime loss, although I don't know. Momentum is a big part, but it's not the biggest part of the game.
It's not, but you know what could be? Hope.
Yeah.
Ottawa had no hope. They had none. They were down 3-0. They were probably bottom of the barrel, scraping by. They have hope. And they're going to be in front of their home crowd.
Yep.
Well, they're just happy to be in the playoffs. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. Like, yeah, well, of course they are. But, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out guns blazing and they blow the doors off of them and continue all this momentum. That's
absolutely what they want to do.
Yeah.
But
you want to force Toronto to have to show up in Game 7.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Do you know what the Toronto Maple Leafs do have, though? A killer power play.
That's great. Just don't do penalties.
Ha!
What do they
That's
also
funny.
have, though? Like, what, a 60-year Stanley Cup drought?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And an overbearing sports media and fans base.
Absolutely.
The hockey gods are cruel.
31.3% power play. That is 6th in the playoffs. That's really good. Ottawa is 76%.
Yeah.
Ottawa has a 23% power play. They're pretty neck and neck on it. It's really just depends on what happens. But like one bad penalty from either team could be the end of the series.
Could definitely flip it. Before we move on, just wanted to share the Tim Stützle quote at the beginning of the playoffs, if you hadn't heard it, about him talking about his time in Ottawa until they finally made it back to the playoffs. He said, "We've been through some shit here." Direct quote.
He's German. You can say that on TV there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is it a German thing or just like I mean, it is facts, but
it is. It absolutely is. My notes on this series was funny. I said, I don't think there's much to this. I think the Leafs win Game 5 and the time off will be their downfall. I was wrong. Now I think they're going to win Game 7 and the fatigue is going to be their downfall. Because, again, they'll most likely have to play Florida, assuming they can finish the series out. Which it looks like there was some shit that went on right before the second intermission, and we're going to start the third period 4-on-4.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
There we go.
But that wraps up the East. I want to ask you, I'll save this for later. I don't think you're gonna have an answer for this one. Well, actually, you might. On the East, is there anything that you wish, looking back at your predictions, that you wish you would have flipped? It's pretty, with a lot of these being very one-sided. It's very easy to look now and say, yeah, I wish I'd picked Florida, or like something like that, or I wish I'd picked Carolina. I think we all picked Carolina, but
yeah, we all picked Carolina. But...
I mean, for me, the only one that I've missed on is the Maple Leafs, which looked real good until about Game 4.
Yeah. Well, and you haven't missed on it yet. We're still going.
I'm not a believer. I'm not an Imagine Dragon here.
Not really. I mean, I went sentimental reasons for the Lightning, even though I had my doubts, and the rest of them, fine picking Ottawa over Toronto just for the lulz, and then the rest of them have played out.
All right.
Maybe.
I don't really have anything that I really want to switch either. The East is pretty much going how I expected it to. The West, however, and I've been diving a lot into special teams percentages. Edmonton and LA. What penalty kill? What do you mean? I don't think they know those words.
You mean how to penalty kill? Let's Google that shit before Game 6.
Yeah. Edmonton, 33% power play. LA, 44% power play.
Damn.
I don't think they care. Yeah. I don't think they care about how to kill penalties. Either team.
No, they care about scoring. Who cares? Exactly. Guys, let them score real fast. We'll get back to 5-on-5, and then we'll score again.
Let's just win this bad boy 5-4. Get on to the next one. Yeah.
As long as you win, who cares?
Up until Game 5, there was none of these games had fewer than 4 goals for one of the teams. 6-5 Kings, 6-2 Kings, 7-4 Oilers, 4-3 in overtime Oilers, 3-1 Oilers. Oilers lead 3-2. I made my notes for this before Game 4 even, so they're very out of date. They're 2 games out of date.
Let's see what past Alex had to say. Yeah.
I mean, what past Alex said is true and seems to have worked for the Oilers because Edmonton lost the first 2 and then made a goalie switch. They switched to Stuart Skinner. Let me double check this to make sure past Alex wasn't tripping.
He might have been. We'll find out here in a minute.
Stay tuned to find out if Alex was tripping. Stuart Skinner Calvin Pickard.
Yeah, I was about to say because they started
Calvin Pickard over Stuart Skinner. And let's see, was that due to injury or nope? Pickard in Game 4 as well. That switch seems to have helped them. And he has done very well since the switch.
Could that
Good
be?
For him. He's bounced around for a while, so
3 wins, a 904 save percentage, 2.62 goals allowed. Whereas Stuart Skinner had an Jesus Christ.
Here we go.
810 save percentage. 6.11
That hurts a
GAA.
little. Oh, that hurts.
Okay,
Oh, that
so
is.
this kind of plays into the question I was going to ask. I was going to ask, could this just be as simple as he sees the puck really well off of these guys?
Yeah, could be.
Kicks? Like, maybe it's just like this one team, he just sees it better against them. It's like certain players hit better against certain teams.
That could play a factor. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how much of it is. It could just be that Pickard is playing better than Skinner right now.
Yeah, it's.
Skinner is not who I would think of as a typical, really number one guy in general.
I mean, he's still pretty unproven.
Yeah,
at
I mean,
this
he's pretty young.
stage. Yeah, he's young, and so, like, who knows?
He had a decent regular
Result.
season, 2.8 goals against, 896 save percentage. That's decent. It's good
Yeah,
enough when
it's-
you have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on your team, you know?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. and
Oh,
having
God, he's
Bouchard
younger than
and,
me. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, dude, that's the worst. When you see people younger than you, oh, it's terrible.
The kid that started the
elder
game,
statesman in this thing, yes.
the kid that started for the Royals today, the pitcher, is from St. Joe, Missouri, and is like a couple months older than me, and it's like, oh, okay, we're doing that now. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just it only gets worse from here.
I know, I'm sure. My only complaint about this Oilers Kings series is that it's on the West Coast. Because I would love to be able to watch more of these games. But seeing as how I live on the East Coast, and even the Blues game is only just now starting at 9:30 at night, I don't like it.
All on the East Coast here, so yeah, it's.
But still, what the actual fuck? That's like 8:30 in St. Louis.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. It's because
That's ridiculous.
They're
Fighting baseball.
No, I don't even think it's that. I was gonna say I thought it was gonna be like the TBS, because a lot of them have been on TBS, TNT, and all that. I was wondering if they were doing a doubleheader type thing where because that's what they've been doing a lot.
I'm at 7. Like, you play all the games at 7.
Well, what I was gonna say is maybe they had the Montreal-Washington game first, and then they were gonna wait for that one to finish and then switch to the St. Louis game. But no.
Yeah.
It's truly just they're trying to appeal to the Western markets, I think, to get them to watch.
Yeah.
Because that's that's prime time on the West Coast.
Exactly.
I mean, that's 5:35. No, 6:35.
There we go. Yeah.
I was like, what?
Hey, listen, I did math from Eastern time, not Central time. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
I've never been in Central time for more than 2 weeks.
I was gonna say yes, you have. But
I corrected myself.
I mean, we were at one point talking about Edmonton, LA.
Yes.
Edmonton's at home for Game 6.
Yes, Dan Bowman might not have something terrible happen to him professionally.
Yeah, he might stub his toe tonight, though.
Yeah, step on some
Lego.
Legos.
Yeah,
exactly. We can only hope. We can dream.
I
Maybe
do
he'll
like
get hit
how
by a
stepping on a Lego has turned into such a big thing that people say now.
It is the most painful thing in the world. One of them.
Is it?
It's top 10. It's top 10.
Your life is truly blessed if it's top 10 most painful things that happened to you. Yeah, I just got.
Out of all the pain that I've had, that's one of the most painful things. I'd rather drop something on my toe than step on a Lego.
Ooh. Mm-mm.
I have done way more
Taking my toenail off, dropping
than
something on it.
step
I'd
on.
rather do that than step on a Lego.
Done lots
The
of things.
bottom of my feet, the bottom of my feet are very sensitive, man, and I walk on rocks. I grew up country.
I grew up in the country. Man, I go barefoot all the time, but like,
oh, dude, something about a Lego. Something about a Lego.
Anyway,
really blessed. Yeah.
I think the Oilers might win this one. Might take this one in Game 6 at home. The Kings got to come out like their season's on the line because it is.
It is. It definitely is. Yeah. Again, we can hope, we can dream, but
yeah,
it might be all she wrote.
I'll go ahead and say you asked if we could make any changes to the East. If we could make changes to the West, it'd be my knowledge of hockey and realizing that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl were, that they were on the Oilers when I made this pick because I was just circling names and I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
And then I picked,
speaking of,
and you said that, and I went, shit.
That's another one of the changes they made going into Game 3 is they separated them, spread the wealth a little bit, and the scoring picked up. Scoring 7 in that game.
You put two of the best scorers on separate lines, so then you have them out there twice as much.
Yeah. They play very well together. They have incredible chemistry with each other. So typically they're on the same line. But in the playoff, that has always been one of the biggest downfalls of them is if you could shut that one line down, you've pretty much shut down the entire team.
Right.
I did see somebody say on Reddit that the worst thing that this series has done is made them respect Corey Perry, who has only gotten better and I think less dirty as the years have gone for him. And I have to say, good for him for cleaning up his game. How much of it is just because he can't skate as well anymore? But, whatever. Let's move on. Let's come a little bit
out loud. So, kudos to you for doing it. Yeah, because definitely thinking it loud over here. So,
do you remember the Winter Classic game with Dallas? And I don't even remember what he did, but he was out there for like 30 seconds and did something so bad he got a game misconduct and got kicked out of the Winter Classic and had to do that like in the middle of a football field in Texas. He had to do the walk of shame from the rink in the middle of the football field to the tunnel in front of tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
As a hockey newbie, you've told me that it's very hard to get kicked out of a hockey game.
It's real hard.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me he did it within 30 seconds, did he punch a ref or something?
No, it's not that hard. It's not like you have to like hit a ref, but like I think it was like a slew foot or a boarding. It was a really dirty play. Like I remember it being
one of the corners, man.
Yeah, I remember it being awful, but I don't remember what it was. But to move us a little bit back towards the east, let's take a pit stop in Nevada, where the Vegas Golden Knights are up 3-2 on the Minnesota Wild. I'm gonna admit it again. I haven't watched any of these games. I just haven't. I've been real busy. I've been trying to keep up on stuff, but I can't really say much other than what I've read. But it seems like Vegas has had a much more physical game. Or they came out more physical in Game 4, which is what I was expecting of them, and that's kind of when they turned the series back in their favor.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was nervous about this one. I again have not watched it. I go to bed early. I'm an old man. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. It's already past my bedtime tonight. I've been following along with the box scores and saw that they were down, and I went, "Oh, they're down in the series. I'm in trouble. My pick is in trouble here."
I mean, I remember us talking last week. Like, who'd have thought that the Wild would have a lead in this series?
Right.
I mean, they stole a game in Vegas, and I mean that's what you got to do. Then they won Game 3 at home, but then they dropped Game 4. So we're back to even footing.
Yeah.
Each team is, and then Vegas won at home in overtime Game 5. So
I think this probably ends up going to 7, and I just think Vegas being at home, I think they pull out in Game 7.
Very well could be.
Yeah. The
I think it'll
Wild
come
can
down to
score, man, and
Yeah.
they're healthy now. Like Kaprizov, Arisenek are healthy. Those two, when they've been healthy, the Wild have been like a top 10 team in the league.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, they got some young guys. They're gonna be fun in the future too, because the buyouts, the Parisi and Suter buyouts are.
Oh my God, are those finally ending?
Yeah, they're done this summer. So yeah, those are gone. So the Wild are gonna have some fun money.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
They're not gonna have a quarter of their cap just going to dead money.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean,
what
they'll
is
go to
that
like Baldy extensions and stuff like that, but
Yeah. I had to say it like that just to really get to Sully there, but it's true.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, it's true.
It's more of half of our cap. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I was gonna look at special teams on this matchup. They're both right there next to each other, 28 and 27%. So I don't think that's really playing a huge factor into it. It might be. I think it's really like you said. The Wild can score goals, and it's just gonna come down to who plays the more fundamental game and block shots and whose goalie's better.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's going to come down to who's
Good
more
with
physical.
goalies.
Yeah. Could be an interesting series. That game is at 7:30 tomorrow, so maybe.
Oh,
have to
there you
check that
go.
one
That's
out.
a nice.
That's
Goalie
in
game,
Minnesota.
yeah.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Game 7, if it happens in Vegas, that's not gonna be until 9:30.
11.
Yeah. That's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much all I got on these two teams. It's definitely not going the way I expected it to. Vegas really shifted back into what I was expecting in Game 4. And I think if they can continue that, that will be it. We already kind of touched on Colorado-Dallas. I do think Dallas finishes it out. Yeah, we already covered this one.
Yeah, we did that one. Let's
I
we
jumped.
can go to the Blues.
Oh, can we?
Yeah, and now let's bring it to the grand finale, because I'm sure Alex has a lot to say about this. So
This is half my page.
I'm putting a time limit on this. We're already at about an hour. I'm putting a time limit on this.
We are not at an hour. I started recording an hour ago, and we sat around doing nothing for like 10 minutes.
We dilly-dallied for a while. I did, because...
At 10 o'clock, it will be over an hour, so you have about 14 minutes.
Yeah, trust me. I'm trying to get out of here, too. This game's about to start. As we are getting ready to record, as we are recording as Game 5 is about to start, the biggest thing, this series has been so much fun to watch. I don't care. I know I'm a Blues fan. I know it's been exciting for me to watch. The games that we lost were exciting to watch. And then we put up a dozen at home. It's been very exciting for me to watch this whole time. The home team has not lost, which is concerning, but if we can steal the game tonight, and go home to Enterprise Center and to a rockin' building once again, we take Game 6 at home and we go on to play Dallas, I think. But this series has been incredibly fun to watch for everybody's perspective, because it has been so goddamn physical. Hellebuck has shown his playoff colors once again. I think the first two games he didn't look at his calendar, and then on the way to St. Louis, somebody told him, "Oh, hey, it's late April," and then he was like, "Oh God," and then let in 6. That's pretty much what I think. Yeah, he gave up 11 goals in the last 2 games.
Yeah, that's an oof right there.
That's an oof. That's an oof.
Yeah, that's a look to see who's on your bench. Oof.
Yeah.
Well, that's look to see what kind of vacations he's booked for like early May or something.
Yeah.
Right? What exact did he put in PTO here?
Unfundable cruise ticket that I gotta get.
Do you want to hear his overall stats for the playoffs?
Let's do it.
Good, because I have
What
them
we
right
got?
here. So in the regular season, Connor Hellebuck, most likely going to be the Vezina winning goaltender this year, had a 2.00 goals against average and a 925 save percentage.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic.
That's incredible.
I'm good.
In the playoffs,
Here we go.
817 save percentage, 817,
Oh, buddy.
and a 4.24 goals against average.
Buddy.
4.
Oh, man.
That is double.
Is that his career?
No, that's just this year.
No, that's just for this postseason.
You want his career though?
Like,
It's
Yes.
not much better. Okay.
Listen,
Career in
he
the
gave up
playoffs.
11 goals in 2 games. I need more data.
Career
True.
playoffs. 49 games played.
Okay.
20
That's more data.
wins.
That's
That
not
is
great.
20
Outlook.
and 20 and 29.
3 shutouts.
That's not great.
3 shutouts. 3 shutouts.
Out of 49, I still don't like that percentage of shutouts.
Shutouts are hard to come by, especially in the playoffs.
Especially in the playoff.
295 goals against and a 906 save percentage. Better.
It's better.
Better. Still not as good as where he should be.
No, but not as damning as 817.
His overall career, his career save percentage is 918. And a 256 goals against.
So, for being playoffs versus regular, he's not far off.
10% is a lot.
But there's lots of things that go into the statistics because, like, playoffs, your level of competition is way better, way more consistently.
Yeah, that's
Because,
yes.
like, regular
yeah.
season, you can feast on the ghost yotes and the flyers and the sharks all the time. Yeah, so like you can beef yourself up on weak teams during the regular season. But
The score has gone final. You are playing the Washington Capitals in the second round.
that's what I
4-1
thought. Well,
final, and that is also the final of the series.
Yep.
For that one. I again have talked a lot about special teams tonight. This is not going to be an exception. The Blues have a 33% power play.
There we go.
The Winnipeg Jets, 13th out of 16. Only worse teams are Washington, Tampa, and New Jersey. 16%.
Not shocked. Not shocked. Been wait and see on them all year after last year's playoffs where they
I know you have.
against the Avs. So
now this is
Still
much
waiting.
worse than their regular season where they had a 28% power play and a 79% penalty kill.
yeah, that's more damning than Hellebuck's, considering they're against the 8th seed and they won the President's Trophy, didn't they?
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, that's a team indictment right there. That's not.
Cam Fowler is a really fun story for me. He has 8 points in this series, which is the second most by a Blues defenseman in a series in franchise history.
Good
And we're
for
only in
him.
game 5 tonight. Momentum absolutely swings to the Blues. Again, if they win this game tonight,
I think you have to win this game tonight.
I think it is pretty much a must-win, yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys don't, I think you go to 7, and I don't know if you want to play a game 7 in Winnipeg.
Done it before.
You have.
My biggest critique of the Winnipeg Jets in this series is the same critique that I've had about Edmonton before. Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor is pretty much that whole team. I don't think they have a whole lot of depth to them, and we've done a very good job at shutting those two down, and when we've done that, we have held them to very few goals. I mean, overall, they've only gotten 10 goals. Yeah, 10 goals total.
Yeah.
Overall, the Winnipeg Jets have only gotten 10 goals. The games that we've lost have been close. We lost 5-3, and one of those was an empty netter. So a 4-3 game, a 2-1 game, and then we won 7-2, and then 5-1. I like where the Blues sit right now. As a Blues fan, as somebody who is optimistic, and a lot of that is on the shoulders of Jordan Binnington, who, since I gave you Hellebuck stats earlier, Binnington has a 229 goals against and a 907 save percentage.
Much better.
Much better.
Yeah.
So,
That sounds
I mean,
about right.
that's I don't have a whole lot to say more than that. I like where the Blues sit here. I like their chances. I'm not booking a trip to St. Louis for round 2 yet. I'm not going to, even if they make it. But
if they make the finals, would you do it then?
I can't afford that.
Maybe, he's got...
He wants to buy a new bowling ball. Don't let him fool you.
I do want to buy a new
Well,
bowling ball.
he and the wife got 4 kidneys. They only need 2 of them, so they might be able to, get a couple tickets for, a game with that.
Yeah.
Maybe an arm and a leg here or there.
Yeah, but I like where they sit. I think we have a good shot at this series, but I think it'll really depend on tonight. And hopefully next time we record will almost definitely be after this series is done, and hopefully I'm still happy about it. So
Yeah.
Got anything to add? I don't know how much you've been able to watch of this series.
I think you pretty much wrapped it up. Sorry, Mike.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I mean, I think you pretty much covered all of it. I've gotten to see some bits here and there between working and traveling about. Yeah, I mean, everything you said has been pretty much on point.
Ooh,
Just
Winnipeg
general
already scored.
Winnipeg skepticism.
Well, they're already up 1-0.
Oof. Well,
Winnipeg is, so that sucks.
yeah, there's plenty of time to come back then.
Yeah. Plenty of time to hang another dozen on Hellebuck.
Hell yeah.
Is he still in goal?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, they're not gonna put.
They're not gonna-
Eric Comrie.
no.
Yeah, no,
Listen,
No,
I don't
no.
know who their backup is.
Nobody
they're not
does.
gonna go. It's not gonna happen. I think it's
No.
Eric Comrie still.
I don't know. He came out in game 3 when we put up 6. He came out for the 7th, but I mean they
Yeah.
put him back out. They put Hellebuck back out for game 4. They're not gonna switch away from him.
No, not.
Fair enough.
I would be very surprised if they did such a thing.
There's been more shocking things that have happened.
Oh hey, look at that, Kyle Connor from Mark Scheifele.
Well, speaking of, you spoke that into existence. Well done there.
Wait, hold on. I found a new toy.
Somebody is so amused by that. I can tell. Just look at that face.
Oh,
Mine or his?
It's
I-
definitely. I can tell you are. Seriously, but I was being sarcastic.
what did you do?
I figured it was sarcasm, but I wasn't sure because I know I looked amused and he did not. So
Yeah, I was looking at him and he did not, and so that's why I said
don't
it.
even
And then
know
I
what
went
you
to-
did.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, Sully is quite amused by that. So I was right for both of y'all.
Do you not hear that?
Oh, are you playing with the soundboard?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have the volume of the soundboard turned all the way down because I don't want to deal with people playing with it while I'm in the call.
All I did was press the little golf clap.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've had the soundboard feature of Discord muted for 3 years.
Fair. I didn't know it was a thing until just today.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I think that will wrap it up. My biggest thing, like if I were to make a switch, and my mea culpa that I had was about Edmonton, but it looks good again. Because when we talked about doing that, they were down 2-0 in the series.
Yep.
But it looks pretty good again with them up 3-2. Nathan Walker ties the game.
There we go.
Yeah, but I still like a lot of my picks. I think I picked Colorado. So like if I were to switch, I would flip to Dallas on that one.
Still have belief in Colorado.
Oh, I believe in them, but I picked them to win in 5, and that literally is impossible since they've already played 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As somebody who doesn't know the game and just picked, if they just win, I'm happy.
Yeah. I still think they
There we
could
go.
win, but I think it's going to go to Dallas.
Yeah, very well could. Very well could. We'll see how the rest of the week plays out.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll be back to discuss all that.
Keep an eye out for our draft reactions episode that should be coming out probably shortly after this one. I think we're planning on recording probably tomorrow, but yeah, unless there's anything else, this has been 2 for cross-checking. I've been Alex alongside Andrew and Sully, and we've been talking hockey tonight. So thanks everybody for hanging out, and we will see you next time. Have a good night, or day, or whatever it is.